Welcome, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to show you some simple massage techniques to relieve sinus pressure and open up those airways. Now, I want to give a special thanks to my dear friend, Miss Maressa Lynn. She is an empowerment and intimacy guide. You can learn more about her work at maurissaalynn.com and give her some shout out and some extra love for so graciously volunteering her body for us. Thank you, dear. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments below. Then grab a partner and let's get ready to dive into some of these sinus relief techniques. Now, when it comes to sinus relief, no massage would be complete without a drop or two of my Breathe oil. Now, there are other essential oils that are great for respiratory relief. Peppermint, rosemary, and lemon are some great single oils that you can use. I'll apply 1 drop to my hand. That's all it takes. You don't need a whole lot to get a great effect when you're using therapeutic grade oils. So I'll just rub my hands together. And the very first place I like to start is with some deep breaths. So I'll just cover my hands over her nose and just let her start to take some deep breaths. Now, I love this Breathe blend because it's extremely powerful and works immediately. As soon as you start to breathe this oil, you can feel the sinuses starting to open up and it invites in even more breath. So it's really powerful and a great way to start your sinus relief massage. So after letting your partner take a few deep breaths, I like to apply the oil across the top of the chest so that the oil is able to absorb into the skin and all the way into the lungs. So it's actually helping to open up the bronchioles in the lungs. So it's actually creating more space for more breath. And so you can massage the oil across the top of the chest or across the back of the neck, which will also help the oil to absorb into the back of the throat and the back of the sinuses. Then after applying the oil topically, I like to take my 2 peace fingers and I'll start by gently placing my fingers along either side of the nostrils. And you can feel kind of the anatomy, you can feel the landscape of the skull there. Now, as I place my fingers where I want them, I'm going to begin to apply a steady downward pressure. So this is actually stimulating some of the sinus points in the face. So I'm pressing down for 15 to 30 seconds. And when I'm ready to release, I'll slowly lighten my pressure and begin to stretch the skin laterally out towards the sides. So this is, again, it's stretching the fascia and the connective tissue that will actually open up the airways, creating more space for more breath. Now you can repeat this. I like going in multiples of 3. It just feels like a good solid number. And so just dropping in those 2 peace fingers along either sides of the nostrils, you'll feel a gentle, like a subtle indentation that lets you know you're in the right place. And after 15 to 20, up to 30 seconds, you can begin to trace the line of the cheekbones outwards towards the ears. Okay, so this is our movement. Starting here with the sinus points on either side of the nose, pressing down and holding, then tracing the line out towards the ears. Now, there's a couple of other sinus points that we want to be aware of. The next set we're going to work are just below the inside of the eyebrow. So you kind of find that inside edge of the eyebrow. Glide your fingers just down, and as you begin to apply a little bit of pressure, again, you're going to feel some subtle indentions. So that is where we want to apply the pressure. Now this is an area that can be a little sensitive, it can be a little tender, especially if the sinuses are inflamed. So just be slow, be mindful about the amount of pressure that you're using. If your partner is wincing, you might back off a little bit. The technique is the same. We apply the pressure for 15 to 30 seconds, and then I'm going to trace the line of the eye socket. So I'm tracing that line all the way out towards the temples. So that's our technique. We're going to do that 3 times. So finding those subtle indentions just to the inside of the eyebrow. I'm giving a nice pressure, kind of slightly applying the pressure like towards me. So it's kind of upward slightly. Holding that pressure for as long as it takes. Then gently tracing the line of the eye socket. All right, so you can repeat that 3 times, 5 times, whatever is needed. And then the third set of sinus points that we want to stimulate are on the opposite side, just to the inside top of the eyebrows. So I like to use my thumbs, that feels the most comfortable to me, but still kind of a nice steady balance from right to left, just to the top of the eyebrow. I'm giving a steady, firm pressure. You can do usually a little more pressure on this point than the one to the inside of the eye for obvious reasons, right? So you can give it a little more pressure here at the top of the brow. Holding that pressure for 15 to 30 seconds. And then again, we'll trace the line of the top of the brow. And I like to go all the way out to the hairline here, because there's all this fascia and connective tissue around and inside the whole face. So again, we'll just repeat that technique. I like to repeat 3 times, but this is ultimately your treatment, your session. You can make it as long or as short as you need it to be. And just stimulating those points. And what's great about facial massage is that you can really see the blood flow. You can see that her skin is getting a little pink around the sinuses and around the cheeks and the areas that we've been working. So we can see the increase in blood flow. So that's showing us that it's working, that the circulation is improving. Now, to wrap this up, I like to do some gentle chasing of the thumbs right down the middle of the eyebrow, kind of erasing those 11 lines or those furrowed, wrinkled brows. So we just stretch it out, opening up that space, and this helps release tension in the forehead and release tension in the muscles even inside the face, which can get tight, amazingly enough. It gets tight and it places that constriction on our airways and on our breathing. And so just massaging a few times between the brows. I'll also like to come up and massage across the top of the forehead from the eyebrows down to the hairline, all the way across. So again, it's increasing that circulation, helping the skin and the blood to detoxify. You can do some gentle circles around the temples, which, if you consider that your sinuses go all the way to the inside of your skull, and there's this soft opening at the temples. So there's connective tissue from the temples to the sinuses, right? So we massage it out, and this is actually helping to relieve tension inside the skull. You can also do some pressure along the cheekbones, just pressing in and release, press in and release, and kind of tracing the line slightly outward. So again, just working those pathways of the sinuses. So these are just a few techniques that you can practice that can be helpful for relieving sinus pressure. And of course, incorporating the essential oils is going to give you an added benefit and work to make your job a lot easier. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you found this to be helpful and insightful. I wish you all the best on your massage journey, and I look forward to seeing you next time.